What's good? This is Moses Flows reporting live for the Big Plantation on FPRN Radio. We're up here in the beautiful Pocono Mountains, Delaware Water Gap. Beautiful. I'm being facetious. We're with Poverty Man, local legend, been rhyming since rhyming was rhyme, right? How long you been rhyming for?
Oh man, I don't even know. I think since like 03.
Word.
Or no, probably not even.
Well, you're definitely what I would call an underground artist. You take a lot of time and effort into what you put into your rhymes.
Absolutely.
What do you feel is the state of hip hop in general? So talking about the pop version and underground, just what's your feeling on the state of hip hop?
Well, it's definitely evolving, and you know, it's as an artist, it's my responsibility to make sure it evolves in a direction that I want to see it evolve in. I think when you talk about pop, you're talking about what's on the radio.
I guess.
And you know, it seems stagnant. It's definitely not a direction that I appreciate music going in. And like you said, I work on my lyricism, and I think when you look at the underground, man, there's so much talent there that it's just the fucking place to be. I don't know why.
Do you think the underground, obviously the underground is not what it was 10 years ago, but do you see a resurgence in the underground hip hop scene? Certainly with doing events like this locally up here, but are you seeing more underground artists that are on that tip, keeping it true to hip hop? I would say you do.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I do. I think that people are really trying. You know, it's scary today. You walk around and everyone thinks they can rap. So you know, it's you got a chance to fucking do the right thing out there and make some music, and you got to do it.
Now, hip hop has always traditionally been the voice of the people, almost like a news reporter, a reflection of the upbringing that those artists came from. And sometimes it's just metaphoric. And I'm not talking from a rapper standpoint, like telling your story, but kind of decoding what you see going on around you and then relaying it in an art form. Anything in current events drive you to express it in your music? Like, is there anything that pushes you to make a statement on certain issues?
You know what? I mean, I try not to pay attention to what's going on in the world, honestly. As important as it is, when I make music, my whole goal is to entertain myself, and if it entertains me, I know I'm going to entertain other people.
That's the most honest response from an artist, because a true artist does make music for themselves.
Absolutely.
As a form of therapy, usually.
Oh, yeah.
I could speak as an artist myself. But do you think that role in artists is prevalent or is important? Do you think that artists should relay those types of messages?
The role is the newscaster.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think that I can tell you tons of kids I talk to that the only time they learn anything that's going on in the world is from music.
Right.
And you know, that's an important role that music plays for people.
So do you see that happening now in hip hop? Do you think hip hop is still the voice of a generation, or could be?
It depends where you look.
Yeah.
You know, it depends where you look. I think it can be. I think the potential's there, and I think there are some artists doing that. But to be perfectly honest with you, man, it's not always everyone's cup.
Absolutely. And what we focus on in the Big Plantation in
Yes.
our music atmosphere is focusing on conscious artists. Not necessarily being the newscaster we were just talking about, but just having an overall consciousness, being aware. Would you consider yourself a conscious artist in that respect?
I have been described thusly. I guess the shoe fits, man, so I gotta wear it, but it depends, you know, it depends on what mood I'm in the day, what I'm gonna fucking write. I don't even know, man.
Well, you talk about the struggle, man.
I
That's
do.
what it is.
I
You're
do
telling
talk about
your
the struggle.
As a fan and as a co-artist, I could say that Poverty Man most definitely reflects his environment and his ideas on things. Whether you consider a newscaster or not, I personally feel that you're definitely expressing your philosophy whenever you're on that mic. Whether or not you get involved in the current political atmosphere, a lot of people don't want to, because it's heavy and you draw divisional lines then. People who are listening to you.
That's true.
You don't want to, you know, reflect a point of view that's going to turn away an audience.
You know what, man? Sometimes just the best thing you can do with your music is to make someone think, though. Whether it's drawing lines or not. You know, if you could reach someone and be like, oh man, I never thought of it that way before, then yeah, you know what? That's a big goal someone should reach for.
Spoken like a true conscious artist. Whether you like the moniker or not, that's definitely a conscious
fits,
point
I
of
guess.
view. Absolutely reflects the struggle, right? And you talk about it a lot in your music. Would you say that you're the voice for that? Are you the voice for people coming up in the new poverty? And what is the new poverty?
No, I'm not. I don't want to be.
Where did the moniker come from?
The name, I've been using it for a long time. I think I was 15 when I first started using that name. I was tagging stuff back then. So
true hip hop.
That's it. That's how deep I am in hip hop. Where did it come from? I don't know. I think you know what happened. I was trying to come up with a screen name on AOL, and I didn't want one with numbers at the end, and that was the only one I could find. So the truth right there.
It's not as deep and poetic as you would have hoped.
It's not, but it sounds good. I'll tell you that.
But it's the truth. And taking on that name, there's a lot that comes with naming yourself.
Yes.
I could speak as an artist myself. Just, I never thought I would be trying to lead my people to freedom when I named myself Moses, but it just so happened to play out that way.
Right.
When you wind up with the moniker Poverty Man, people would probably assume that you're going to be talking from the struggle. And I hear you often in your music reference the talking about consciousness and hip hop and your idea of how it fits in and is it important? Just to get a clear idea of whether or not you see that happening in music now, and if that can help carve the identities of the listeners or help gear them towards being conscious. And then just plug your music, let people know where they can find it.
Being conscious in your music is very important. I think the problem is that too many people who aren't thinking about what they're writing are making too much money, and that is the problem with the music industry right now. You should be totally responsible for everything you say, and you can check me out at povertyman.co, facebook.com/povertymanmusic probably. And,
And you got that EP coming out with Sinister Sev.
Yes, Not Safe for Anyone EP.
Sinister Sev.
Yo. Good.
All right.
7-0.
The 570. All right.
And later this year, hopefully, I'll have a solo album coming out called Crumbs for the Masses.
Crumbs?
Crumbs.
I'm feeling it. Thank you, bro. And he's nasty. I'm vouching for him. He's the real deal. All right.